Okay, so before we start, I just wanted to give you a little information. I'm gonna try to put the pictures of the nasturtium that we're gonna start together. I'm gonna try to put those up here on the screen. So please, no judgment, just, how's that go? No judgment, just listen. No judgment, just listen. In this case, just watch. Don't make fun of me. And if you have any tips, put them in the comments because I'm open for any tips. Thanks. Hi, my name's Elizabeth and welcome back to the farm. So today we are going to talk about nasturtium. I have a love-hate relationship with nasturtium. Everything about them I love, but there are some things I'm not really happy about. So let's talk about the great things. It's easy to grow. They do well in our cool climate here in Northwest Montana. Just pop a few seeds into the soil and you actually have this most amazing vine, plant, whatever, that lasts from early spring until first freeze. The flowers and the leaves are edible. They really are a lovely plant, and I really do love them most of the time. The problem I have with nasturtium is that as they start to mature and start to get a little bit older, they definitely need to be deadheaded in that they have to have their flowers cleaned up. And then also they are kind of messy. So as they mature, their leaves do turn yellow and die off. And sometimes if you're not diligent about, cleaning them up, they look, like I said, kind of messy. So even though I do love them, they do great in our climate. I have a hard time. Mostly, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest, part of the problem is because as we get further and further into our season, I don't have as much time to go back and clean plants that need some extra attention. I just don't have time to get those guys cleaned up and have them looking amazing. So what I end up doing is I come in and I just kind of shear them all back, and that's okay, but then sometimes it takes a little bit of time for them to recover, and the next thing you know, we've had our first frost and everything's done. So like I said, I love nasturtium. I love many, many things about them, but there are some things I'm not too thrilled about. Anyway, having said all that, we are still going to grow a lot of them. Nasturtium usually come in amazing colors. They don't come in blue or any of the blue violet colors, but they come in all sorts of whites, from whites all the way to deep burgundy reds, which I love. Yellows, just love them as far as the colors go. And as I said 13 times now, they are edible, which makes them a crop that you can use for all sorts of, products. So all that being said, let's talk a little bit more specifically about how to seed them. So let's talk about specifics. Plant itself is considered a tropical plant, so it will not overwinter in our climate of 4B, or a growing zone 4B. I don't have any seeds available right now, but the seeds come as these tiny, hard little capsules, which a lot of people will actually soak for 24 to 48 hours before you plant them. You can do that. I'm just impatient, so I don't usually do that. Once they're planted, they sometimes take up to 3 weeks before they'll actually germinate, which is great, but you have to be patient. Patience is not one of my great characteristics. Other than that, once they get going, they're usually amazing. Another drawback, for me at least, is that they are really susceptible to having issues with moving from one place to another. In other words, they don't like their roots to be disturbed. So you have to be super careful about when you transplant. So like, for instance, if you're gonna plant early, like what we're doing in little cell blocks, like what we're doing, and I'll show you here in a second, you have to be super careful about making sure that when you move them out into the landscape that you are gentle with their roots. Other than that, they really are pretty tough. Like I said, they're super edible. I love that. Their leaves are peppery and their blooms are vibrant. And like I said, they all kind of have a little bit of a bite, which I love too, as far as flavor goes. They are easy to grow. There are just a few things you have to be careful of. Other than that, let's go ahead and start planting. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a lot. Look at that, 500 seeds. I have a lot of nasturtium seeds. The seeds really do last forever. Well, not forever, of course, you know, but last a long time. So I can keep these in storage, dry, cool, shaded storage for a long time, and they should do great as far as germination goes. I've pretty much grown all of these at one time or another. I really do like the Ladybird mix. It has some creams and some peaches kind of mixed in there, as well as the Empress of India. I really don't like red so much in the landscape, but as just a general characteristic, I love red, especially the deep burgundy reds. And this one actually is very lovely. It's got a deep, deep green leaf, and the flowers, like I said, are just this really deep burgundy red. Like them a lot. Anyway, some of these I've never tried before from Renee's garden. We've got this Copper Sunset, the Spitfire, and then also I couldn't even find any pictures of the Phoenix or this Arizona mix. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've got this tray all set up with soil ready to go, and let me show you this real quick. The tray or the cells themselves are pretty deep. The idea behind that is that hopefully when I get ready to go transplant these out in the landscape, the roots themselves will not be disturbed very much. All right, and just to remind you, I am not going to soak these seeds. I know some gardeners, farmers recommend that you soak them. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make sure that the soil is moist and that we have a humidity dome on top, and that really just should be fine. Honestly, I am just a lazy farmer and I don't want to do that. So we'll see. All right, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get to work. Okay, just real quick, you guys have seen me seed a million trays by now, so I'm not going to do this individually. I'm going to speed the whole process up. The nasturtium seeds do like to be buried about 3/4 to an inch deep. They really appreciate a warm, moist medium, and especially since I'm not going to be soaking them ahead of time, I'm going to make sure that they have those perfect conditions so that they'll germinate. The germination does take, like I said, sometimes up to 3 weeks, 21 days before you actually see a little bit of leaves poking through the surface. But my job is to keep them moist and warm and have the perfect habitat so that we can germinate them. Okay, let's get going. Okay, that does it. I am going to put the humidity dome on top and pop these guys on a heat mat downstairs in the basement under lights. And hopefully in just a week or two, we're going to start to see a little bit of growth unfurling. I'll keep you posted. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.